Welcome aboard, Leo. So I'm just giving Leo a quick check over, like the winter check over, make sure everything's good. There's been a little bit of water ingress, which is the problem with outside storage, but I've managed to put some plastic sheeting over that a few months back, and that's kind of solved the problem. Although, of course, this summer you and me will be up on the roof changing all these wonderful rubbers on these skylights because they're going to need doing. The other thing I don't like about outside storage is they get careworn very quickly, and Leo is looking very careworn. Even though Leo was washed about a month ago, there's still all the black stripes coming on there, black streaks from the window rubbers, which isn't good. Shall we fire Leo up then? Right. Now, doesn't she sound lovely? She sounds really good, but she's going to need a service this spring. I think she's got fuel running back underneath, and these engines, these 680 engines, do suffer from the fuel injector pipes coming undone slightly. So it might be something as simple as that. The pipe hasn't seated properly. I've already had to nip them up last year. It might be that I might have to nip them up again. Something simple like that can cause the fuel to run back, and it's a lot of cranking when you go to start her up. As you can tell, I cheated a little bit and I started her up before I started her for the video, which is why she started on the button first time. Normally there's a lot of cranking. If she's not been run for a month, which she hasn't, there's a lot of cranking and a lot of smoke. It's impressive to look at, but it's not so good for the charging system, the batteries, the HT leads, and anything like that. Really, the high voltage leads that go from the battery to the starter motor. It's not good for any of that at all, because that all gets rather warm and rather hot. So that will have to be looked at and that has to be addressed. So while we're here, let's have a little look around Leo's cab, shall we? I'll get myself comfortable. So we got the start-stop buttons down there and the indicator, which flashes up there. Now that's very quaint, isn't it? It says winker. When was the last time you saw a vehicle with a winker? Now, I think people might get the wrong impression rapidly if I turned around and said, I'm just going to put my winker on. So that's your indicator down there. We've got the Webasto, which is, to be fair, that's where the magic happens down there. We don't touch that. That just is out of action. Webastos are brilliant when they're all new and serviced and everything like that, and they keep coaches nice and warm. But when they're old and a little bit crockety like the one on Leo, they can be quite a bit of a fire risk. So it's isolated. I don't intend on using it, and we only really use Leo during the summer anyway. And the heat builds up on Leo very nicely, gets very hot. And to put a Webasto on in the summer is just ridiculous. Plus it drains the fuel as well, uses more fuel. So we've got the interior lights all here, and all the racking lights and everything like that. We've got the water temperature gauge, we've got the air temperature gauge, door control, windscreen wipers, we've got the speedo and the tacho. And then we've got the warning lights. You've got the dynamo, the winker, as I was telling you about, telling me the handbrake's on. That tells you when the bus goes into reverse. That tells you if there's no water or not enough water. That would tell you that the Telma retarder isn't working, but obviously there's no retarder fitted. That tells you if the emergency door is open. That tells you if the rear fogs is operational or operating. That should say if the rear engine flap is open, but I'm not exactly sure if that does work or not, because there is no rear engine flap on a Leyland Leopard. And that tells you if there's a problem with the oil pressure drops. Moving over a little bit, we've got the temperature gauge for the hot and the cold to keep the bus nice and warm and nice and hot. Hazard lights, and then we've got all these which are heaters, a fan, And then you've got the fog lights and bits and pieces, the demisters and the light for the signs, and then these wonderful things down here which are all spare. And then the radio, which in all fairness has probably doubled the value of the coach having that put in here. It works and it's rather good. It picks up radio too, so we can cruise around the island. And then we have these wonderful notices down here that most Leylands and buses of Leo's era was fitted with. Move off in first gear. And this warning, pneumocyclic gearbox and instructions not to do things. Do not coast in neutral and stuff like that. And lastly, we have the gear selector here. Leo's gear selector. So we've got first gear. We've got, it won't go into gear at the moment because the door's open. So if we shut the door, see, it's nice the interlocks still work, isn't it? So we've got first gear. Feel it dropping into gear. And then we've got second, third, fourth, fifth. And it's quite good to do that, just tighten the bands up. And then, of course, as you go down, we've got reverse. And you see the little winker comes on there. Now, one of the features of these gearbox, it's got an early anti-theft device to it. There we go. Shouldn't tell you that really, should I? It locks the gear selector in place. Quite a handy little gadget that is. Twist it and it drops back down again. So coming up on the channel in the next few weeks, well, there's one that you won't want to miss on Wednesday, and that is all about the Ace Cougar. Now that bus popped up in the video about the Gosport and Fareham provincial company, National Bus Company Histories, on Saturday. I didn't do anything about it. I never mentioned it or anything like that because I thought, oh, it might be worth doing a video about it. And I have done it, and it's all ready, and it's waiting to be revealed on Wednesday. And it tells the story of Ace, how Ace came into fruition from Ward Brothers and Abbey Ways, and it tells their story of their influences all the way through from the Seddon Pennine. So there's a little bit of everything in there. And as I say in the video, if you'd like the complete story of the Seddon Pennine, it's all right, Leo's ticking over. And as Leo's ticking over, I'm wobbling with it. I'm not quite so steady on my feet as I used to be. Getting old. As I say in the video, if you want the complete history of the Seddon Pennine as well, we can do that too. It won't be for a few weeks, of course, but we can do the Seddon Pennine. The Seddon Pennine, very interesting bus because it's actually not just one bus. It's something of like 4 or 5 different varieties of buses, mid-engined and rear-engined and front-engined, and there's something for everything. They just, whatever they built Seddon, they called it a Pennine. It was just bizarre. So we can do that one if you like. Definitely going to be doing the Dennis Dart as well. I'm going to start off with the step version of the Dennis Dart, and then I will do a separate video for the SLF and everything like that, and the MPD and all that palaver. But we're going to do the Dennis Dart. But before that, there is the D9 video that I promised you last time we made one of these, what's coming up on the channel videos. And the D9 video is going to be on Saturday. That's going to be up on Saturday. And as well, I might release the Hants and Dorset, the A to Z of National Bus Company history for Hants and Dorset, because that would be quite a nice follow-on for the provincial story. So that's what's coming up all over the channel in the next few weeks. And I'd like to say thank you very much, all of you, for watching, because this is what you're supporting when you're watching my YouTube channel. You're supporting projects like Leo, and you're supporting projects like 809 over there. And we'll go and have a quick look at 809, shall we? So 809, I'm not going to open it up today. It's getting late, it's getting dark. But this is the other bus that's living outside here on the Military Museum. PKE 809M, former Maidstone and District, Series 2 Bristol VR. And again, every time you watch a video on YouTube, it goes towards this project, it goes towards Leo, it goes towards all of our buses. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who do support the channel. do watch the videos regularly, do comment and everything like that, because it all helps. It all pushes us up to the top of the YouTube widget that decides who's going to watch what and everything like that, and what it recommends, and it's really great. It really is. And I'm going to repay you all with some fantastic videos. Going to be a lot of work. This is a little interloper between my two buses. Little Guernsey Albion. Don't you just love that Albion badge? Look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? This is owned by a friend of mine. And it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful little bus. But as you can see, the problem with outside storage, the window rubbers aren't great and everything like that. It's starting to, the window rubbers leave black streaks when it rains on the side of the bus. So there's all these little things that need doing to Leo. But as I say, we will be up on the roof in the spring. We will be doing the window rubbers. There's lots of projects to do. We've got to do the window rubber around the destination screen. We've done the one at the back. Now we need to get that waterproof. Leo will be moving from that part of the museum all the way over the other side of William, where nearer to the buildings. And of course, Leo will be facing into the prevailing winds. So we need to get that front destination glass all re-rubbered and watertight so that it doesn't leak, because the last thing you want is water getting into your pride and joy like Leo and everything like that. 809, look at the state of those upstairs front windows, but they kind of work, they're kind of watertight. But again, I will need to get around and finish doing that. So that's another job we'll be doing in the spring, is doing 809. We'll be getting bits and pieces done on that. So come on, what's there not to love on this channel? You're going to come and help me fix these buses, restore these buses, keep the wheels turning. We're going to go out for drives on them. Brilliant. And the best thing is, you don't even have to leave home. You can do this all from the comfort of your armchair. Stay tuned, and thank you so much for your support so far. Big thumbs up from me.